Welcome back to Huntsville, here at halftime at Wicks Family Field, Joe Davis Stadium. We are at the break, goal on the board for Huntsville City Football Club leading South Georgia, tormented by the score of 1-0. And here at the half, Jon Nelson, joined by the new Director of Soccer Operations, Matt Cairns. Matt, thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, so you've been here a little less than a month. Let me ask you, let's go to the beginning. What attracted you to this particular organization and this job and wanting to be the DSO here? When you were looking at Huntsville City, what attracted you to being here in the first place?
Yeah, I think first off, my respect for Mike Jacobs up in Nashville. I've known Mike 8 or 9 years now, and every time I'd ever had contact with him was just blown away by his intelligence, his professionalism, and how he operated. And then you see the success in Nashville, what they've built. And then keeping an eye on Huntsville last year, I saw the buzz in the city, and it's a unique project. The way, obviously it's a partner club of Nashville, but this is Huntsville's soccer team. You get the whole community involved. Growing up in England, I know how powerful that is when you get a town behind a soccer team. And yeah, seeing the crowds last year, and then this amazing stadium that we get to play in, it's an unbelievable project. It was the quickest decision of my life to say yes to.
It really was the quickest decision of your life, huh?
Yeah, to be honest, there's only 2 decisions I've never regretted in my life. The first was marrying my wife and never had any cold feet. And this one the same. I was living up in Minneapolis, and as soon as the phone call came from Mike, I told him yes and never had a second doubt. It was, awesome opportunity. Couldn't be happier to be here.
So what's it been like for you from the adjustment of the land of 10,000 frozen lakes this time of year to come down here and be a part of things in Huntsville City, and seeing the response here to the preseason tournament here in Blastoff Battle, and you getting acclimated to life here in Huntsville? What's it been like for you?
Yeah, I missed the cold spell you guys had here. I came just after that, but hearing people talk about 1 or 2 inches of snow is quite different. That's just that's an April's day where I was living in Minneapolis, but I think even seeing the weather today with beautiful day and just seeing a couple of thousand fans here for the Blastoff on pre-season tournament is unbelievable. It just makes me even more excited for the season. You see the billboards around town. There's a buzz around the city, and if I'm in a coffee shop wearing some of the Huntsville gear, people mention the team, whether I'm a fan or work for them. So just the way the club has been here a year and already has an identity is great for the future, and we just got to keep building both on and off the field. Obviously, Coach Jack plays an exciting style of soccer, and I think anyone that comes and watches our games is going to have a great time. And that's the cool thing. We're looking to win games, but we also have some extremely exciting talent. Obviously, anyone here Friday night fell in love with Forster Ajago already, and you can potentially see players that are going to go on and have absolutely massive futures in professional soccer. So yeah, come on out.
When you look at MLS Next Pro in general across the board as a part of the growth and the whole sphere of football here in the United States, when you look at its place and the quality that you see from MLS Next Pro, what are some of the things that stick in your mind about the quality of play here in this particular league?
Yeah, I think America is one of the most exciting soccer markets in the world right now at all levels, whether that's MLS, but particularly with Next Pro. There is so much young talent in this country. Obviously, you're seeing some make the move to Europe at young ages, and the amount of homegrowns, I think, you saw in MLS last year, it was the most goals and assists by homegrowns there had been so far in a season. So that tells you what type of talent is now playing in MLS Next Pro. You add in Carolina Core, Chattanooga, some independent teams with, they're going to do things slightly differently, and it's, each club has a slightly different idea of how they want to do it. But yeah, from you're seeing 15, 16-year-olds that are playing for the youth national teams, and young international players from abroad coming in. There is talent on every roster. Every game is going to be extremely difficult, but any fan watching is going to be blown away by the talent levels they see. And then the exciting thing, if you're here, is where these players, you get to follow players now for their whole career. You talk about, I grew up in London, would go to Tottenham a lot, got to see someone like Gareth Bale play at 17 years old. You still remember that now, and I think you come to a Huntsville game, and whether it's Adam Sipic, Isaiah Jones, we've got some really exciting young talent, and the sky's the limit for them.
Another couple of minutes here with the new Director of Soccer Operations, Matt Cairns, here at Huntsville City Football Club. You mentioned how teams are going to be doing things with the independent ownership, something that MLS Next Pro wanted to have as a part of the fabric of it with Chattanooga and with Carolina Core, and teams wanting to do things differently. When you see all of these different approaches and what you're envisioning with being the Director of Soccer Operations here at Huntsville City, how would you present that Huntsville City is going to be different, whether it's with the relationship with Nashville, playing all the homegrowns, all the younger players? How do you envision Huntsville City making its presence known the way that you would like for it to be?
Yeah, I think having that clear identity is awesome, and you want to connect with a city. I mean, the state of Alabama knows how to win. You look across, whether it's college football, anything like that. So we understand if you want to make a mark in this market, you better win matches and you better be competing for championships. So I think that's first and foremost what we're trying to do here with Huntsville. And the perfect blend of that is that we're going to have some incredibly exciting young players that we hope eventually become too good for this league. And that comes as a result of what they do on a Saturday night and helping us win and dominate and exciting fans. We want to get fans off their seats. We want to make this one of the fun Saturday nights out in town. So that's what we're looking to do. We have the NSC way, the Nashville Soccer Club way, and that's hard working, that's being respectful. But what Nashville have done is they've won and they've made the playoffs every year. Obviously in Huntsville, we didn't quite make the playoffs last year. This year we've got a great roster, a loaded roster. We've got a great coaching staff, exciting talent. They've now got a year of experience in this league, and it's time to turn that into some victories.
One last question for you, and it has to do with this weekend in general here. With President's Day weekend, wanting to make that statement about Blastoff Battle in Huntsville being that experience that folks can have here with the weekend of matches that we've had, and not just with the matches here at Wicks Family Field, but the high school experience that was had yesterday and the sandwich day in between. What's it been like for you to see the response in meteorologically challenged conditions, weather-wise? I mean, you still got folks showing out. You still have the fans here, and you got fans over on the sunny side of the stands. What's it been like to see the response leading up to this weekend, and now the response going through this weekend?
Yeah, it's honestly blown me away. To see the fans that were out Friday night to start with, and there was some weather Friday night. The rain was coming in, so to see the crowd we had there, and fans for both games staying through the rain for the end, and then yesterday obviously was able to catch some of the high school soccer over at John Hunt Park, which was brilliant, and challenging conditions, reminded me of being back in England, mixed with a bit of Minnesota, but just so fun to see how big high school soccer's getting over here. And then you come today and thankfully the sun's out, and just an unbelievable crowd again here for both games. And obviously we're off to a good start with a good first half performance, but it's you can see different markets, whether it's around MLS, can struggle to draw for a preseason game. So to have this tournament, and it makes it feel more important for the players when you're playing in front of the fans. So our guys, this is Coach Jack doesn't like to call it a preseason game. This is a professional game of soccer, and we're going to treat it as such. And I think having fans in the stand and the atmosphere and energy they've brought has really helped that translate this weekend.
Matt, congratulations on adding the new line to the CV and the business card. Thanks for being a great host this weekend to us here at SDH. And you got a 1-0 lead at the break. Thanks once again for the fantastic weekend.
Thank you for having me.